Hi everyone, this is Jerry O'Sullivan here with day 4 of our encouragement, our video devotional from Psalm 34. The verses I'm going to focus on today are verses 12 through 16. 12 says, "Whoever of you loves life and desires to see many good days, keep your tongue from evil and your lips from telling lies. Turn from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to blot out their name from the earth." Now, the word crisis can be defined as a time of difficulty or challenge when a decision has to be made. Now, in the midst of a crisis, people usually have to make a decision. They have to do something, but what they do will differ. In the midst of the crisis we find ourselves in currently because of COVID-19, we have seen many, maybe even ourselves, our own family members, hoarding even basic items like toilet paper. Why? Because we're in a crisis. We're scared, and we've chosen to look out for ourselves, for our own families, and sometimes no one else. We do need to prioritize our own family's needs first, but not at the expense of bringing harm and suffering to others. In verses 12 through 15, we're given a stern warning by David. If you want to have a long, happy life, you need to not be evil. Here's how I define evil. The evil willfully bring harm to others for their own gain. They willfully bring harm to others for their own gain. David gives us an example of this in verse 13. It is evil to tell lies about someone. He says that we need to intentionally turn from evil and instead seek after and pursue peace. Here's how I define peace: a healthy relationship with God and others. A healthy relationship with God and others. A relationship without hostility, animosity, war with God and others. In the crisis, we have witnessed incredible acts of peace where people like Dr. Li, the Chinese doctor who first realized the potential threat of COVID-19, he began to speak out, only to be reprimanded and disgraced by the Chinese government. He continued to speak out and treat patients until becoming sick himself and dying from the virus. Dr. Li was not a Christian, but in the midst of a crisis, he chose to do good, to seek peace and pursue it. But we've also witnessed incredible acts of evil. People buying, hoarding, and trying to make a profit off hand sanitizer, masks, phone scams, trying to take advantage of people in crisis. People exploiting, harming others, doing evil to others to get ahead themselves. Verse 15 is both a promise and a warning to all of us. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to blot out their name from the earth. Clearly, you want to be considered righteous and not evil by God. Now, righteous is a churchy word, so let me define it for you. I would define righteous as those who have a right relationship with God. The Bible says we can't make ourselves righteous. We are sinners separated from God. No one is a good person. The Bible says we can be made righteous only by putting our faith and trust in God through Jesus. Because of Jesus and his death on the cross, imperfect people who put their trust in him can be in a right relationship with a holy, perfect God. Have you done that? Are you in a right relationship with God? Are you righteous? Now, don't confuse this with self-righteousness, trying to make yourself righteous through religion and good works. It does not work. The text says that God will be attentive to only the cries of the righteous for help. He will know you, and he will be listening for you. Now, here's a test to see if you really get it and you are in a right relationship with God now. The righteous are going out of their way right now to not just make sure their own families are safe and provided for, but they're seeking to love their neighbors as themselves. The righteous are giving away food and critical items right now rather than hoarding it for themselves. The righteous are looking to build up and encourage those around them that are out of work, who can't pay their bills, by sharing their own resources with them. Jesus said that it's the job of the righteous to love your neighbor as yourself. But do you know what Jesus said was the number one command of the righteous? The number one way that you would be able to discern them, to find them, he said that they love God. That we need to be cultivating a relationship with God and keeping our love for God regardless of the times being good or bad. Our only hope is to seek to pursue righteousness by being in a right relationship with God and others through Jesus. And I'll close with the warning, especially now. Don't be evil. You may not suffer now, but you will suffer later. Thank you.